when we lose the capacity to have hope for our time, um, this can be really challenging. And our stress levels have gotten to a point where anxiety has reached an all-time high for a lot of people. And there's, it's hard when you don't see a clear end in sight, whether it's the pandemic or anything else that we are all dealing with. So, I've been trying in practice, yoga practices, to offer tools, because yoga is so great, to help us cope. But I want you to think about specifically what provides hope. Hope is such an important, talk about inoculation. We don't just need a vaccine to prevent the coronavirus from, attacking us, but we also need a shot of hope. So I'd like for you to think about what your vaccine of hope can be. I've been swimming a lot early in the morning, like before dawn, and watch the sunrise in the pool. And being outside in the winter with the sunrise is just this amazing. It's just amazing, right? And to see a sunrise is just the epitome of a hopeful thing. So that's one that is helping me. And also kind of enjoying the little children in my life. I have some nieces and nephews that have little kids, and I don't get to see them, but I get to see pictures of them and videos of them. And my siblings have been sending me videos like on an ongoing basis, to see that joy and hope and the continuation of life is proceeding, whether we are struggling or not. So if you are struggling with anxiety, with depression, with feeling like it's difficult to exist in these times, are you giving yourselves daily inoculation of hope? And it can be small little things. Buy some flowers and have them on your table, or, communicate with a friend, or dance in your kitchen, or look at your, make and present your favorite food. Whatever it is that gives you a sense of normalcy and hope is a really important aspect of keeping ourselves sane in this time. So yesterday we did a bunch, I don't know who was here yesterday, but we did a bunch of practices around yielding and giving ourselves over to the weight of the earth for a sense of grounding. And today we'll kind of continue on that theme, but I want you to really think about what you can include in your daily life that's going to help you inoculate against some of the depression and anxiety that is here for a while, right? So let's go ahead and...
Yoga.
What'd you say?
Yoga.
Yoga. Yay, yoga. Yes. So we all love yoga. So here we are, right? So this is absolutely one of the things that help support us. So let's come into our practice, because how lucky are we that we get an hour to do some yoga right now. So close your eyes and really truly settle into some gratitude that you have the space in your home, that you have the time, that you have a computer that or a phone that allows you to access your yoga community. So let's have a moment of feeling that you are not alone. First of all, that all the people who are in class with you today, we're breathing, we're moving, we're experiencing our practice together. So feel the web of that for a moment. Just let yourself settle into that meditative space of feeling that you are held by many, not just the people in class with you right now. But imagine all the people across the world that are holding you, that support you, that you support. Just let yourself be cradled, kind of rest in the hammock of that web, to know that you are not alone. Come into your breathing. I'm going to start our practice in a moment with some box breath, but for now, just ground in your body. Feel the roots. See if you can yield into the earth with whatever you're touching, whether it's your ankles or your legs or your sit bones. Can you ground down? You feel not only are the web of people around the world supporting you, but the earth itself is holding you. Let your eyes rest, come into that softer place in your being. Be aware of how your breath is moving through you. See if you can melt your neck, your shoulders, all the little muscles that like to help with breathing. Let's see if we can quiet them and rely on the deep diaphragm to support you. And make sure your posture is comfortable. So if you're not, make an adjustment. Sit up higher, stand up, lie down, make a change. If you haven't done box breath before, it's very simple. We'll take a count of four, but we're going to inhale for four, hold for four, exhale for four, hold for four. So create, you can imagine a little box if you want, where each of the four sides of the breath have part of the square. And if you're not a very linear thinker, then don't think like boxes, think like waves or anything else that helps you stay present for the breath. So I will count it out, but of course, nobody's breath pattern is the same. So if you need to hold a little longer, just mute me for a moment. Or if you need to hold a little less, you can always speed or slow your pace according to my rhythm that I'm setting out. So don't feel like you have to stay. But the important thing is to have evenness through all four parts of the breath. So everybody take a deep breath in, fill your lungs, and then exhale all your breath out. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, hold, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Last one, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Feel your shoulders release. Notice if you feel centered. Bring your palms together at your heart. Bow in to set an intention to support yourself in your practice. All right, let's release the hands and come onto our back. All right, so as you lie down, and for some people that breath pace was way too fast. For some people it was way too slow. So now you get to breathe your own rhythm. Well, hopefully you breathe your own rhythm then as well. So let's just take a moment to feel the deep sense of restfulness. Let your limbs expand outward. Have that feeling of yielding into the earth. Let your body drop and ground. Take some deep, slow breaths. Now, instead of the box breathing, see if you can cultivate through your practice today, breathing through your nose, 1, and lengthening your exhales, 2. So the exhale lengthenings can be really good for keeping our nervous system calm. Stretch the arms overhead, reach the left side, reach the right side. Let's find some invigoration. Let's enjoy. So just be so thankful, grateful. Look at what your body's capable of doing. Here you are breathing, moving your body, stretching, feeling good, hopefully, in certain parts of your body. So let's marvel in the places that feel really good. And then bring your knees into your chest and rock a bit, maybe swaying from side to side, maybe some circles with your knees. Just feel what you're feeling. Finding the breath. All right, right knee into your chest. Left leg is long on the floor. Feel some wiggles through your ankles. Wake up your feet. Feel the compression in your hip. Give a good squeeze. This can be grounding too. Not only the forces of yielding, but the forces of compression can be very grounding. And then let's switch sides. Left knee into the chest. Feel the compression in the knee and in the hip joint. Move around through your feet. Extend through your spine. And let's go back and forth, moving one knee in and then moving the other knee in. Starting to wake up not only the core a little bit, but to feel that back and forth of compression in the hip joints and the knee joints. And of course, if you have a hip or a knee that doesn't like to compress, you just go where you go. You can always hold behind your knee too if your knee compression is too much. All right, and then 2 knees in, rock again. And then open your knees out and bring them back in. Just feel that range of motion that lives in your hip joints in this position. Feel how your pelvis is moving. Feel how your spine is moving. And feet down. Spread your limbs wide. Stretch open. Expand. Wiggle through your toes and your fingers. Squeeze your legs. Squeeze your arms. Give a good squeeze to all your muscles. And then bring your knees in, chest up this time, and give a good squeeze here, maybe even squeeze your face. And then relax your feet and your arms back down. Take your feet wide on the mat and windshield wiper your knees left and right. So just feeling that sense of swinging from one side to the other, opening up your spine a bit. Find the breath. And then roll over onto your side and come on up onto your hands and your knees. All right, let's find some movement through our spine here, arching and rounding the spine, taking your time to feel the nurturing nature of cat-cow. Let it wake your body up. Feel free to squeeze a little bit in the front or the back. Make sure your head and your tail are involved in the poses. Bring breath into the body. All right, and then stretch back towards child's pose. Once again, feel that compression. Feel free to anterior tilt the pelvis a little bit. Feel the femur bones press back. Feel that compression in the hip joints. Extend the arms forward. If your arms don't like to be forward, bring them wherever they're going to be. Sometimes simply taking your arms wider and flipping your palms toward each other or up toward the sky can alleviate tension in your shoulder. Not for everybody, but it might do the trick. And then walk the hands over to the left and reach into the breath. Feel the right rib cage open. Allow yourself to stay open. So, so much of how we react sometimes to stress is contracted. We contract our body, we slump our body, we fold in. So let the chest broaden and open on that side. Breathe deeply. Defy the urge to condense and instead expand. All right, and then go the other way. Walk the hands over to the right. Drop weight down into the hips and feel the side body open here. Big breaths. Ribs are open. Relax your neck. And then come back. Come on to all fours. Let's find our warm-up twist. Reach the right arm up in the air. Slide that shoulder down. Feel the back side of the body. Feel the shoulder blades broaden away from each other. Deep breaths here. All right, and then square your chest toward the floor. Keep your arm underneath you. You might slide that out a little bit and settle back towards child's pose, letting the back side of your shoulder stretch open. All right, and then inhale and reach that arm all the way up to the sky. Place the hand down, change sides. How's the breath? Are you able to stay focused on keeping those exhales a little longer than the inhales? Find your breath, move your shoulders away from the ears. Enjoy the space in your neck. Enjoy the space and the awareness in the back of your body. And then square your chest toward the floor so you're sliding back towards child's pose. So the arm is still underneath you. Open up across your collarbone, stretch the back side of your shoulder. And then go ahead and release that. Place both hands down onto the ground and find your way to dog pose. Something as simple as dog pose can be so beautiful to welcome yourself home to your body. So feel free to pedal your feet, drop one heel down, bend a knee, move through your hips. You can rock your knee inward so that your opposite hip lifts high. Just invite yourself into your body. So just see what it feels like to come home into sensation, be present, and then find that yielding. Yield into the earth with your hands and your feet, rebound through your spine. See what it feels like to have that relationship with the earth, where you're not just trying to push yourself off the earth, you're not collapsing into the earth. You're finding that middle way where you yield into the earth and you rebound up into the pelvis. So rebound from the hands up into the hips, rebound from your feet up into the hips. How's your breath? Find the long exhales now. Relax the skull, melt the eyes. What can be a vision of hope that you put inside your mind? Do you have a visual of something that represents hope to you? Walk your feet forward and settle into Uttanasana. So as you kind of settle onto a thought, an image that represents hope to you, can you hold on to it? Can you keep that in the mind's eye as you move through the day? Inhale for a halfway lift. Find the length of your spine. Lift your sit bones. Exhale and melt back down. Fold. Are you enjoying being in your body? Push off your feet. Rise up. If you're dizzy, pause for a moment. Have a squeeze to the midline to lift your blood pressure back up if it got low. Find your breath. And then inhale. Reach your arms up to the sky. Spread out your wings. And we're just going to warm up our shoulders a little bit. So you can do some big circles. You can leave your arms alone and just circle your shoulders. You can do something in the middle and just find a few circles one direction and then a few circles the other direction. And then shake out your hands. We're all using our hands way too much. Spread out your palms. Press them toward the wall behind you. Open your chest. And then release the hands again. Shrug your shoulders up. Let them down. Let's repeat that. Shrug your shoulders. All right, now we're going to bounce. So I know that some of you probably think it's ridiculous, but I really do think bouncing is a great way of releasing some of the anxiety from your body. See if you can just let things go. You can shake, you can jump. So just take some time, let your limbs be loose. You can move one foot. You can kind of jog in place. You can never leave the floor. Find your breath. Okay, and then we're going to do some slapping. I've done this last couple days, and I think it's very helpful. Okay, so slap your chest. Don't forget those bottom ribs. Go down your arms. Back of your body, get into your kidneys. You can take your open fists back there. Your side bodies, down your legs. A good reminder to be in your body, that we're here now. Okay, come back up to your head. Smack around on your face. Be very gentle. Now feel your aliveness. Put your visual of your hope inside your mind. Allow your breath to be deep. Stretch the exhales out. Yield your body. So feel the bottom of your feet soften into the earth. Feel the rebound drink up from the earth all the way to your crown. Finding the breath. Unlock your knees, unlock your shoulders, your elbows, your hands, unlock your diaphragm, unlock everywhere you can unlock. Let the unlocking help you to settle your yielding into the earth. And don't forget the rebound. So we give to the earth and the earth gives back to us. All right, let's start to move. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Take a deep breath. Exhale and fold forward. Relax your skull down. Halfway lift, the thigh bones move back, the spine grows. Exhale and melt back down. Step back to a plank. Hold steady here. See what it feels like to ground yourself. Now, when we do a pose that's strong, like a plank, obviously you can always put your feet down or knees down onto the ground. But can you still find some ease? So even though there's a lot of effort, is there front and back body balance? Is the breath able to be here? Is there yielding capable? Are your elbows unlocked? All right, then come down. Knees all the way to the floor. Find your way to the ground. Take a deep breath in. Open the chest, shoulders down. Exhale and melt. Come back down onto the ground. Find the breath again. Open things up. Exhale, release, and surrender. One more time, but feel the hands come off the floor. Strengthen the back side of the body. Engage through your core. Feel the shoulder blades hug toward the spine, a little lower down on the spine. Find that V. Exhale and melt to come back down. Come all the way up onto all fours. Feel some swivels and some swirls, whatever feels good in your spine to release the back bend. Find your way up to dog pose again. Extend the spine. Just notice that yielding now. Can you root into the earth? Can you rebound from the earth? Be in relationship. Feel yourself held by the earth. Remember your web. Think of all the people who are holding you. Visualize hope. Find your exhales. All right, let's bring our right foot forward. Find a lunge. Hands onto the blocks. Extend your heart forward. You don't need blocks if you want to have your hands on the floor. Extend your heart forward. Find your breath. Reach into the hip flexors of that back leg. Lift your femur bone. When you're ready, rise up, crescent lunge. Arms do not have to be up here in the air. They can be anywhere you want them to be. So find a place of comfort where the breath is your paramount concern. Relax the shoulders down. Feel the integration of the yielding. So drop into the feet. Bring the energy from the earth up. When you're ready, let's twist off to the right. Drop your shoulders. You can keep your hands on your hips if you want. Find the breath. Open up through the hip flexor of that back leg. Come back to center. Lifting the arms up again or out. Hands down onto the ground. Back foot comes forward. Fold in half. Okay, bend your knees as much as you want. Halfway lift, the spine grows. Soft knees, thigh bones back. Exhale and release and surrender to the floor. Left foot is forward, right foot is back. Come to a lunge. Extend the heart. Feel that sense of extension through the back leg and find your yielding. Both feet, drop them into the earth. Rebound through your spine. Discover your exhales over and over to see if you can just keep remembering to find the long exhales. Rise up when you're ready. Bring the arms to the sky if that's where you want them to be. But remember, your arms can be anywhere that's comfortable. So if your breath is quickened by your arms overhead and you're having a hard time finding those long exhales, make a change. See if you can keep the breath be in the front burner of what you're working with. Yield into the feet, drop down. And then when we're ready, let's open up to the left. Hands can be on the hips or out to the sides, whichever feels nice in your body. Stay in your lunge, hug to the midline. Feel the yielding, feel the heart lift. Wind back up, reaching the arms. Exhale, hands down onto the ground. Step your front foot back. Plank pose again. Hold steady here. Let's go ahead and bring our knees down to the ground. Stretch back towards child's pose for a moment. Walk the hands forward. And we're going to put our elbows onto the ground and then stretch all the way up into a forearm dog pose. So dolphin pose. The forearms are in line with the elbows are in line with the shoulders. Feel the lift of the shoulders. Feel the lift of the hips. Can you yield your forearms into the earth and reach upward from there? Finding the breath. Try not to let your armpits push back toward your feet. Have a little hug underneath there. Instead, lift up. And we're going to turn this into a forearm plank. So walk your feet back. Hold steady. If you are uncomfortable in any way, put your knees down onto the ground. There's no reason why this pose has to be a full plank. You can support yourself however is necessary for you. And that can include turning your hands toward each other. Try to keep the shoulder blades firm on the back. Engage through your core. How is your yielding? How are your exhales? And then let's come resting onto the ground. Sphinx pose, so you can walk your hands a little bit forward. Open up through your chest, shoulder blades down the back, and then release and melt to the floor. Pick up your feet and rock left and right. And let's feel those mid and lower traps here for a moment. So bring your arms like goalposts out to the side. If this is not comfortable, you can have your arms straight or down a little bit lower. So find what's working for your shoulders. And when you are ready, first stabilize through your core. Try not to arch the low back and sink. Feel the engagement. Move your legs into the ground. And when you're ready, try to pull the bottom tips of the shoulder blades in a V, like create the letter V from the shoulder blade tips to the bottom of your lower traps where they attach onto the spine, and lift your arms with that action. And then exhale and melt back down. A couple more times. Use the lower traps to engage. Try to keep the upper traps relaxed. Shoulder blades move toward the spine. Exhale and relax back down. Last one, we're going to lift up and we're going to hold here. Bring the elbows a little bit lower. Try to find the bottom tips of the shoulder blades moving toward the mid to low spine. Keep the neck relaxed. And then exhale and melt back down. Come up onto your hands and your knees and work out any kinks in your spine. You can sway your hips from side to side. You can turn your head to look out over your feet, one side versus the other. You can drop your head down, do some circles, whatever's working for you. Curl your toes under and lengthen all the way back up to dog pose. Feel the yielding. Drop into the earth, rebound through the spine. Try not to collapse your armpits toward the floor. Lift under the armpits and instead lift toward the pelvis. Root into the hands. Feel the long exhales. What can melt here? What can relax? Lift the right leg up in the air and stack open the right hip. Stretch through those hip flexors. Lift underneath the left armpit. And then swing that leg back. Change sides. Left foot lifting up toward the sky. Stack open, left hip over right. Try not to collapse the right armpit toward the floor. Lift up underneath it. Your knee can bend or be straight in the air. And then square the hips again. Walk the feet forward. Come into Uttanasana Fold. Bend your knees a lot. Rise up. Bringing your body, if you're dizzy, just pause for a moment. Bring the arms up and out, cactus. Find your breath. Now we're going to do some imaginary pull-ups on a pull-up bar. So we're going to reach our arms up and imagine those lower traps. See if you can get the bottom tips of your shoulder blades to move toward the mid to low spine. So you're creating like a little letter V. from spine to bottom tips of shoulder blades. Find that sense of holding yourself from there, engage through your core as well. Maybe inhaling on the way up, exhaling on the way down, maybe switching that, whatever feels natural in your body. Start to feel that you have a back body, that you have an open chest. And then relax. Shrug your shoulders around. Take a breath, open yourself up, exhale and fold forward. Relax, wiggle out your spine. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, left foot back, right foot comes forward, lunge. Place your back knee onto the ground. Rise up to crescent lunge. Arms can stay on your hips or out or up. Try not to fall. So when we fall, this is collapse. And when we try to lift ourselves all the way up, it's propping. So find something in between where you can yield your feet, but feel the rebound through your spine. Stay present with your breath, reaching the arms up if you want. And then let's find a twist here. Elbow to the outer knee. You can cross your hand to your shoulder, or you can bring your palms together. Try not to sink your chest in and take your shoulder blades wide. Instead, find that lower mid-trap again. Spread open your collarbones. Find the midline of your legs and hug your inner thighs toward it. How's your exhales? All right, let's go ahead and release your hands down. Come on to the inside edge of your right foot. Your back knee can stay on the ground as you start to open that hip, or maybe you want to lift your back knee up off the ground. Shoulders are away from the ears. And then we're going to walk your back foot forward and come to a squat. So feel free to adjust. Your feet are going to be as wide as the mat, maybe even a little wider than the mat, and come down to a squat. Your elbows can be on top of your knees or inside your knees. Still feel those mid to low shoulder blades, but notice if your front body wants to collapse toward the floor. Integrate the front and back toward each other, finding the breath. Wake up your legs, yield your feet, root into the earth, rebound through your body. How's your exhales now? Can you draw the shoulder blades away from the ears? And then inhale, arms up to the sky, starfish open, heel toe your feet, fold forward, relax. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, left foot forward, come into a lunge and place your knee down onto the ground. Adjust. So, if you have low blood pressure and the up down really messes with you, just don't go up. Anytime we go up, usually we're coming back down. So you can modify anything. If you tend to get dizzy in your practice, that's a good way. Rise up, find your breath. You can bring your hands onto your knee if you want. You can bring your arms in the air. Try not to collapse. See what it feels like to hug your front heel and back knee toward each other enough to give the support of your spine, but not so much where you lose the grounding of your knee and your foot. So feel them move into the earth and then toward each other. Let's find our twist here. Bring the elbow to the outer knee. Perhaps the hand comes to the shoulder and the other hand stays on your thigh. Perhaps your hands come toward each other and you try to turn the heart toward the center of your palms. What does it feel like to engage the back body, to feel those shoulder blade tips, to feel the collarbones open, to feel the work of the obliques to twist you? Find the midline with your thighs so you're stabilizing your pelvis. How is your breath now? And then come back to center. Place the hands down onto the ground. You can always come back up if you need a little spaciousness, and then bring your hands down. Inside edge of that left foot now. Feel the deep work and the compression of your hip. Your back knee can stay on the ground or it can lift up off the floor. You decide. Broaden your collarbones, back body strong, shoulder blades down toward the spine. Open the chest. Finding the breath here. Okay, let's go ahead and step the front foot back. Find a plank. Find your breath. We're our knees down onto the ground. Okay, come back to child's pose for a moment. And I'm going to give you two choices for this quad stretch because it's a big one. So either bring your right foot forward and the back knee is going to stay down onto the ground, and we're going to reach back with our right hand to grab our left foot. And if that's too much, you have two choices. You can either come down onto your side and just grab your foot and stretch your quad like so, or you can stand up and turn this into a balance pose where you're either holding on to something or no, and just grabbing your foot, descending the knee toward the floor. So decide which of those three variations you're doing to stretch your hip flexors and quadriceps muscles. If you're in the lunge, you'll get more of a hip flexor stretch than the other twos, but be where your knee is happy and where your body can really comfortably be. You can always wrap a strap around your ankle as well. If you're in the lunge, find that twist again. Shoulder blades down, chest broad, breathing deeply, rooting through your knee and foot. All right, and then whatever you're choosing to do, we're going to come out of there, come back to child's pose, or just switch sides. Okay, so you decide where you are in space. If you're try to find the evenness. So if you did one pose on one side, try to do the same pose on the other side. If you're in the lunge, the left foot is forward, the right hand is on the ground or on a block. The left arm reaches back to grab your right foot. When you do this, it's easy to just collapse and fall. Hug in, keep the foot grounded, extend the spine, find the yielding. How's your breath? So depending on where you are, whether you're standing up and holding your ankle, whether you're using a strap around your ankle, maybe you're on your side and holding your ankle, whatever you're doing, feel the extension through your quadricep muscle. Breathe into that. Open the front body up a bit. Find the deep inhale. Find the long, steady exhale. And then we're going to unwind that posture, come back onto all fours no matter what you just did, and feel things move around. Cat-cows, sways, anything that feels good. And then find dog pose. Extend through the spine, enjoy. Feel the reach through the body, yield into the earth and rebound. All right, let's walk our feet forward, come into Uttanasana Fold, rise all the way back up. Arms to the sky if you want them to be. Interlace your hands behind your back, open across your collarbones, bend your knees and bring your arms back. So it doesn't matter how far away from the spine they go, hug the shoulder blades, the bottom tips move toward the spine. And release that. Relax that. Find your breath. And push off your feet and rise back up. Maybe some bouncing again, maybe not. Maybe what you need is complete stillness. Eyes open or eyes closed. If you are dizzy, squeeze to the midline. Bring your blood pressure back up. And if this is common for you, try to drink a bunch of water. It doesn't always help. It depends on why your blood pressure drops. But if you're just a little dehydrated, sometimes having a bunch of water before your practice can be helpful. All right, so root the right foot into the floor. Grab onto your left foot. Okay, so you can wrap a strap around that foot if you need to. Reach the arm up in the air, extend the spine. Feel the proud warrior vibe of open heart, courageous heart, hopeful heart. And then tip forward and go where you want to go. So remember, there's no destination. There's only a sense of movement into space. So your hips are square, your ribs are square, your chest is square, your shoulders are square toward the front of the mat. We're not turning open to the side. Just feel free to soften the knee you're standing on. Feel the yielding. How are your exhales? Can you kick your foot into your hand? ahead and come on up and relax your foot down. Balance between your 2 feet. Find your breath. Yield into the earth. The knees are soft. The breath is bottomless, so let go of tension around your back, your belly, anything that harbors the experience of guarding the breath. Let go on your inhales. This is hard to do. To let go of your belly completely is hard to do. So see what it feels like on your inhales to release as much as you can, and on the exhales to just quietly re-engage. It doesn't have to be forceful. It doesn't have to be super strong. Just enough to support. Use your core to help support the diaphragm move back up. Drop weight into your left foot. If this is your, kind of anxious side, notice, do balance poses give you anxiety? Do you have attachment to success? So just let go. Who cares if you fall over? You're not going to hurt yourself just by putting your foot back down onto the ground. So grab onto your foot, soften your knee, have a little bounce in there so you know you're not locked out. Reach the arm up in the air and start to come forward. So this is, like kind of symbolically like leaning over a precipice into the unknown a little bit. So can you be stable in your mind? Can you stay present with the breath? Can you yield and feel the support of the floor as you tip, as you find wherever you're going to go in this pose? Keep extending the spine. Find those bottom tips of the shoulder blades and integrate that into the core. Feeling the ribs hug in. Relax your neck. And then we're going to come on up. 2 feet onto the ground. Close your eyes. Shake out anything you need that needs shaking. Relax your upper traps. Melt through your eyes. Yield your knees. Yield your feet. Find that balance between we are not collapsing, we are not propping. We are somewhere right in the middle where we feel the relationship with the earth. Spread open the bottom of your feet and feel that. Take a breath, reach the arms up, exhale and fold forward. Halfway lift. Turn this into a plank. And then lower yourself down to the ground. Last back bend that we'll do. Reach on to your ankles. If you want to skip this, you can. Let your knees stay in line with your hips instead of splaying out. Bottom tips of the shoulder blades finding the spine. Integrate the core to that action. Inhale and rise up. Upper traps are relaxed. Breath is moving. Feel your diaphragm. And then relax and melt. Turn your head one way or the other and go ahead and swivel your feet left and right. I forgot to say that you can always do that pose with a strap around your ankles if you can't reach your feet. So if you want to try it again with the strap, if you didn't quite get there, you can do that. Otherwise, just start to relax. All right, and then come onto all fours. We're going to flip right over onto our back. Find the breath. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Keep your left knee bent, left foot on the floor. Reach and grab your right knee and hug it toward your chest. Interlace your hands behind your hamstring and lift that right leg straight up. Move your thigh bone into your palms. Extend the spine. And we're going to cross the right foot over toward the left, stretching your outer hip, your IT band a little bit. Breathing. And then lifting that leg back up. Put your foot down onto the ground. 2 feet on the floor. Let your arms rest on the ground for a moment. Take a breath into your spine. Exhale to yield. Everything drops down. All right, second side. Bring the left knee into the chest. Keep the right foot on the floor. Right knee is bent. And then interlace behind your left hamstring with your hands. Interlace the weird way because you just did the normal way probably. Extend your foot up, root your hip down. Extend the spine. Okay, and now we're going to begin to cross the left leg over to the right. Finding the breath. And then bring that leg back. Place your foot down onto the ground. Take a breath. Melt into the earth. Right foot on left knee. Reach again, interlace behind your hamstring. Reverse your pigeon pose. If you don't like this pose and you'd rather just cross your thigh over your thigh and grab your knees, that's another choice too. If you'd rather grab onto the front of your shin, that's a choice too. If you'd rather not have any grab with your hands and put your left foot against a wall or a piece of furniture, that's a choice as well. Yield. Long exhales. Okay, let's go ahead and change. 2 feet on the floor. Have a breath. Neutral spine. And then bring left foot on top of right knee and reach to grab the shin or the thigh or, the hamstring, or put your right foot against a prop, a wall, whatever it is that you have, a chair, a couch, a bed. All right, and then relax your legs down. 2 feet on the ground. One more time. Yield. Deep breath in. Long exhale. Let's twist. Hips shift to right. Knees drop up and go left. Find the open spine, the open chest. Turn your head. Inhale and pick your knees back up. Scooch hips left, knees come up, drop right. You can always support underneath your shin, so if the floor is too far away, put a block underneath your right shin. And then inhale and lift your knees. Neutral spine. One more breath here. Yield, long exhale. And then happy baby pose. Hold your feet now. It's okay to rock. It's okay to be still. Feel a sense of compression in your hips again, knees descending. Feel the low back open. And then find your way into Shavasana. So depending on your body, you might want support underneath your knees so that you're more in that constructive rest position. The knees bent with support underneath your knees with blocks, blankets, pillows can be very supportive for the spine. You can even lie on your back and bring your calves up on a couch, bed, or chair. So as you find your way into the comfort of Shavasana, know that this is not just the icing on the cake. This is a deep pose. This is an important pose, not one to be skipped if you can avoid it. We integrate, we melt, we practice yielding, We practice long exhales. We practice the art of surrender. There's so much that we practice in Shavasana. It's really an important posture. Let your body rest now. One more time, put in your mind your visual of hope. What is a vision of hope for you? And let that permeate you. Give yourself over to your web. Feel the support of the earth below you and drop into it. Yield into the support. Stay as present with your breathing as you melt, as you can. Find any sneaky pockets of tension in your face or diaphragm, fingers, toes, anywhere. Do what you can to surrender over and over. And most importantly, enjoy. Relax and enjoy. Let's bring our awareness before you move. One more time. Yield your whole body, all your weight. Drop into the earth in all places you can. Feel supported and held. Breathe. And then from there, start to invite some movement into the body again. Feel a sense of renewal, walking into the day. Bring that vision of hope into your mind as you move the body. Onto your side. And eventually finding your way up to a seat again. Come into the steadiness of your breath. Relax your body. Yield and feel the rebound of a long, spacious spine. Feel the back body support the openness of your heart. And let's bow in, offer your intentions, your prayers outward, send your love to someone in your web. Namaste. I hope you have a wonderful day.